So I didn't really hate his performance. I hated the dialogue that they gave him because
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
I've heard less cheesy and corny dialogue from an 80s action movie. Like, I don't know if they were going for that here, but whew, I'm gonna show what this pawn can do to a king. End scene. You need somebody like me, and there's nobody like me. End scene. Gee. Man, all right, well, let's do this. I thought Mortal Kombat was the worst movie I watched this week, but this movie came into my life and totally beat that. So
Action thriller, a little light on the thrills.
hell, light on everything. If you ask me, my humble opinion.
Well, let's hop into it, man. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Nightcap. How's everybody doing tonight?
Welcome back, guys.
What's up, bud? How you doing?
Better, but after I watched this movie, it was worse. But
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, what are you drinking this warm spring evening?
I am drinking Truly Pineapple just to, like I said, start getting those summer vibes. Get ready for hot boy summer.
The block is hot. All right.
Mhm.
Drinking a little bourbon. Old man drink tonight on the rocks.
Hey, that's fine. That's fine.
I'm drinking that fire right now, warming up a little bit. But yeah, we're gonna be diving into it tonight without remorse. Just warning to everybody, there will be spoilers ahead. So if you haven't watched the movie yet, go check that out first before you come back and catch our thoughts on it. But I don't know, man. What do you think? Before we dive into this plot here, what takes?
I'm telling you right now, much like the name of the movie, I'll be without remorse when I do this review because I'm gonna go for next in this one. So call me Dracula. All right.
I hope people know we're straight shooters here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is
Like, small, humble channel, so we have no corporate masters to tie us down. All right.
exactly.
So we're here to tell you the truth. All right. we owe it to you guys. We hang our hat on it.
Yep, exactly. We don't have no CIA handlers, right, calling the shots, right? We're not some propaganda machine, okay?
Exactly. But when we do get our first sponsors, I'm gonna be like, oh my god, this movie's amazing. But until then, nothing but the truth will pass through these lips.
Just in case there's any fat cats watching, I'm not saying that we're not willing to sell out.
Yeah, I will.
Another opportunity.
I'll sell out like that.
Just saying.
Jeff Bezos, give me some payola right now.
I'm gonna go ahead and put up my Bitcoin wallet up right now. If anybody wants to send that over, feel free. All right. Well, actually, let's go ahead and get into this review. If this is your first time watching the show and you're enjoying the content, please hit that like and subscribe button. We appreciate it. We're also going to put up our grading system right now. Just shows how we break down movies by category and give them a full grade. Feel free to follow along, and you can always find those as well in the notes in all our videos, so you can see how that system works there. And also, if you guys are interested, I'll go ahead and put up our Instagram, so you can follow us there as well and keep track with what we're up to. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this movie here, Tom Clancy's Without Remorse. Now, they say it's based off the book, but fairly loosely. I didn't read the book, but from what I can read here, they changed a lot.
Yeah, from what I read,
around since like the 90s,
shell.
And
it's a shell of the book.
Exactly, it's pretty much a shell of what Tom Clancy's version was. So I'm not gonna, hold Clancy accountable for what I saw. But I think when you hear the name Tom Clancy, there's a certain expectation. You're gonna get kind of spycraft, a lot of government ops. Tactical weapons. Multiple plot twists. Yeah, shifty CIA characters somewhere in there. And this movie has that, but the vibe is very much different. Very much got like Hollywooded up, if you will. I don't know how to describe it.
Lazy is what you could see. You could describe it.
Yes, I think you definitely could say it. This is like one half Tom Clancy, other half water. They just like diluted the shit out of it.
Like very, very predictable as well. But we'll get into that later.
Well, what do you say, man? In terms of plot, what'd you end up giving it in terms of score?
Whew. I'm starting off week 3 out of 10.
Oof, okay.
It's like I said, I haven't read any of the books, haven't played any of the video games. I'm just basing this strictly as an action thriller, right?
Yep.
Navy SEAL out for revenge after his wife gets killed. But during his revenge mission, he finds out that things go much deeper, conspiracy to the highest levels of the government.
The upper
Right.
echelons. Yep.
Yeah, military industrial complex was mentioned. You've heard of that?
Paging Alex Jones.
He's about to call in right now.
Yeah.
And like you said, shifty CIA agents, shifty government people. And like, has there ever been a movie where CIA is involved where they don't like double cross or betray like the main character? Like you think they would learn by now, but
Yeah, I can't think of one. They almost always stab, not just the other parties in the back, but they're like usually Americans are getting screwed in the process too.
yeah, exactly. It's just all for the better good, I guess. I don't know.
National security, blah blah blah.
I guess. But yeah, 3 out of 10. It's nothing that we haven't seen before in multiple movies like this, multiple TV shows like this. I'm pretty sure this was the plot line to 24 back in the day. I don't know.
Yeah, I give it a 4, so I'm not there very much higher than you. It's really disappointing when you actually do look at the plot of the novel, which I didn't read, but it looks actually pretty interesting, and the story was really intriguing. And to see what we got, it's just disappointing. This movie feels very cliche. It feels very familiar when you're watching it. Like it feels
Absolutely.
like a movie and a very familiar story that you've already seen before. So you're looking, okay, what's going to separate? What's going to make it different? And honestly, it doesn't really distinguish itself in any like meaningful way. Like it just kind of is what it is. Once it gets going, you kind of can tell where it's going to end, and you can spot the bad guys right away, and it's not very hard. It's kind of linear. So then you're like, okay, well then I'm just going to, follow along for the action. And I don't want to say that it doesn't deliver, but
it was decent.
It was decent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's get into the production. What do you think in terms of production?
Well, the production, I even though I'm kind of ripping it already, I can't deny that this was a good looking movie. It looked very big budget. And so you could tell Amazon Studios is really stepping up to try to compete with, Netflix and all the other streaming services in terms of original content. They had the locales, wardrobe, costumes look authentic. The score was pretty good also. I want to mention that as well. And like we were talking about the action sequences, they were decent for the most part all throughout. I like the firefights. I like I like the prison riot fight like when he was in prison. I like that as well. So a solid 17 out of 20 for me.
In terms of production, I ended up giving it a 15.
Okay.
I thought it looked okay in terms of the way that they shot the film, and the cinematography was fine. Action was choreographed nicely. It wasn't like didn't really stand out too much, but I thought they did a decent job. In terms of locations, you can kind of tell that they kind of scaled it back a little bit. There wasn't a lot of the action takes place like in very like confined areas, not expanding like a whole city or anything like that. But I just thought it was okay. Nothing really stood out to me. Like I didn't really take away from anything in terms of like the fight scenes and stuff. A little bit in the beginning was a little clunky, some of the parts. But like I said, overall it was just mainly decent, if I can say so. But let's get into the performances. All right, so what'd you give it in terms of acting?
Oh, woof. Acting is where everything just went off the rails in this movie. I'm gonna say you agree with that. 13 out of 30 in acting from me.
I think that might be your lowest grade.
I think I'd have to look through our archives, but I think that might be the lowest acting grade I've ever given any movie that we reviewed. And it sucks because I for the most part I actually like Michael B. Jordan as an actor. I thought he did a good job as Adonis Creed in the Creed movies. But this one, he did everything he could to keep this ship afloat. Like, he mustered up all the acting chops and emotional range that he could provide. When his wife got killed, his unborn baby got killed. But so I didn't really hate his performance. I hated the dialogue that they gave him.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
I've heard less cheesy and corny dialogue from an 80s action movie. Like, I don't know if they were going for that here, but I'm gonna show what this pawn can do to a king. End scene. Um, you need somebody like me, and there's nobody like me. End scene. Gee,
Mhm.
I just hope that when he had to say these lines, I hope he at least kind of spoke up and be like, "Hey guys, I don't know if this is gonna work."
Like, think we're laying on a little thick? It's like, nah, no, we're
Yeah.
good. You're good. Keep going. Keep going. You know who else is give us an amazing performance? I say tongue in cheek was the lieutenant. I think her name was Greer, the
Mm.
buddy there. Oh my
Oh,
gosh, dude.
I was gonna save her for the cherry on top, but I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna let you go.
She was like a cardboard cutout. I mean, her
I
line, her delivery was more deadpan than me and some of my dry humor. Like, I was just like, are you serious right now? Like, this is the best it
I
takes?
I legit, not even joking. I legit after I watched this movie, I looked up to see if she was an actual actress or if this was like her first role
Mhm.
or if but and I looked it up. Yeah, she was a model. And she had like a maybe not even a handful of small parts and this was like one of her bigger parts. And it shows. I could get fired for this. I could get to jail for this. Have this drink. That is an order. Oh,
That was I like that part when they were in that locker room. I was just like, "Oh my gosh!" Like, I couldn't take it. Like, I had to put it in my notes. I was like, "This is so bad right now." It's like it
yeah,
was taking me out of the movie. Like, it was so
it
bad.
was. I pretty much. I don't go too harsh on like the actors, yeah, but unless it takes me away from the movie, if it's so glaring that I have to mention it, and I had to mention this because it was rough. I
And
mean,
I'm not gonna
yeah,
pick on the low hanging fruit here too. I mean, that she's a SEAL commander. You know what I mean? Like, as far as I know, there's never been a female Navy SEAL to begin with. But I get it.
yeah,
I get it. Hey, it's
hmm
2021. All right.
yeah,
Things are different now. I get it. But
inclusive.
just at least give me somebody who at least can fit the part. You know what I mean? That makes me want to believe, suspend disbelief for a second and be like, okay, this chick's a straight up badass. Like, no,
Yeah,
she was. I don't really don't know why they cast her in this position. She just
yeah,
seems so
exactly.
out of
Whoever
position.
whoever did the casting for her should be fired. I remember another scene where she was gonna take out that sniper and her gun jammed, and then she had to fight. It looked like she didn't know what to do. She was like, and this was supposed to be the leader of this ragtag group,
She was their
and
Captain America, basically.
pretty much, and boy, yeah, it was bad. And also Guy Pearce, who was also another good actor, he phoned it in.
Yeah,
He phoned
yeah.
it in.
I get it. Everyone has to get paid. He's got a mortgage. I get it. All
I
right,
get
but
it.
you
I know all
want to
about
try
it.
a little bit.
Yeah, like come on, man. Like, yeah, I get this didn't go out. This didn't, in the cinemas. It's only on Amazon Prime,
He's
but
like,
it's
what do
still a
I got to
big
do? Show
production.
up and wear a suit? I can do that.
Yeah, and it was bad. And then who was that shifty CIA? Jamie Bell.
Yes.
On he he was so poorly written that at the end you didn't give a shit whose side he ended up being on. Honestly,
Yeah.
like he ended up being a good guy, but you were like, he was so poorly written. You didn't know until at the very end, like when they
Yeah.
actually explained it.
Yeah, maybe that's the thing too. Maybe just these actors were just done with what they got. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm not giving the the SEAL leader any slack, but
Mm.
it was rough. It was rough. Yeah, in terms of score, let me see. I gave it a give it a 20, which makes me kind of want to lower it some more now. The more I think about it,
I think
but you know what? It's okay. I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna let it go.
I think
Let-
Jeff Bezos got to you. I think you're taking some peyote. Did you sell out without me? Did you sell out without me?
I might have gotten a bunch of Amazon gift cards in the mail. All right, that's all I'm saying. All right.
Ooh, wee.
But let's move on to the directing. And I'm not familiar
Mm.
with this director, but I feel like this is really, and I don't know if I could put a pin it all on the director. I mean, it probably came up
Yeah.
from production or from Amazon Studios, but they butchered this story. This story was, I mean, compared to the book,
Right.
it was a way much more complex, more interesting story. They stripped it down. They gave us this very cliche plot. Those action was okay, but it was just so predictable and so linear. And one thing I'll say,
Mhm.
kind of circling back to performances a little bit, I do like Michael B. Jordan, but I didn't love him in this role. I just I don't know. I didn't really see him as like this, especially in like the Tom Clancy universe, as this kind of like robotic,
Mhm.
military just super killer. You know what I mean?
Right.
He's got I don't know. He's just got a different vibe to him. I didn't totally buy him as that guy. Right? I get it. He's a badass. I get it. He's all juiced up. I get it. All
Yeah.
right. But seeing him as that kind of like adroit, like just I don't know, robotic killer, I just didn't really buy it. I don't know. It didn't really totally connect with me. I thought it was just okay. In terms of the movie itself, the first half kind of sucked. I felt like it kind of picked up a little bit in the end a little bit. It started giving me what I wanted it to be.
Yeah,
I will say this, that plane crash scene I thought was pretty cool.
Yes, that was definitely well made for that sequence. And like you said, it's hard for me to lay all this on the director, but he does have the most clout in a movie for the most part. So yeah, man, I gave it a 14 out of 30. Like yeah, I'm telling you, I'm going for next in this one. Call me Dracula. All right. But the awful dialogue, the predictability, the laziness of the story, that big team that they did for the big ops to Russia, they were pretty much interchangeable. They were all bearded, like
just
gruff,
NPCs.
like, yeah. And you almost didn't know who got killed and who was alive because they all looked the same. They were all interchangeable.
And the part there at the end where he puts on their uniform and sneaks out, during the confusion. I mean, how many times have we seen that? You know what I mean?
Countless times. And also, this was the one that really got to me, and it wasn't towards the beginning. And this is when I was like, this isn't going to be any good. When they were doing the hits on all his old teammates, and they did that hit on the guy in the Mustang in bumper to bumper traffic.
Yes, thank you.
They jumped out of a van in bumper to bumper traffic, shot him, and then hopped back in the van, and then didn't move anywhere. If I was stuck in that traffic, I'm like, what the hell is going on here?
It would be great if they just hopped back in the van and just stayed there, like in traffic until like the cars moved up.
There was literally nowhere to go.
Everyone's just staring at that van like, holy shit.
Yeah, if I was like in the next, I'm like, oh shit, don't shoot me. I didn't call it.
I like how the part 2, he's like, these guys were pros, you were professionals. I'm like, really? They didn't even bother to sweep the house when they went to kill you. You know what I mean? You snuck up behind them, you took them all out. I'm like, I don't know. It was just ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. I get myself riled up. Like the more I think about this movie, I'm like, oh man.
I'm beginning to think, I've been too nice on it. I'm handling it with kid gloves right now. I kind of want to take a hammer to my score right now, but it is what it is. I already got it here in my notes. I'm just gonna leave it as is. But yeah, in terms of directing, give it an 18. Which is one of the scores I've given. And like I said, I'm even double thinking that maybe
those gift cards. Those gift cards that Bezos got you.
What can I say? I'm Amazon rich right now. Free Prime forever. All right. Oh man. But let's get into X Factor here. I mean, I'll go ahead and shoot first. I gave it a 3. Now, I mean, like I said, I haven't read the books. I from what I did read though, they are thinking about maybe making a sequel called Rainbow Six, which I've never read the book, but I played the video game. Video game is really cool. Big fan of that. But I gotta hope if they do that they interject more talent into this cast.
Yeah,
maybe get a better director, because right now it's really subpar, especially if you're thinking about taking it to the big screen.
Oh, absolutely. The X Factor. Oh man, I'm telling you, I'm being stingy the past 2 movies. I gave it a 1. And I was I was on the fence about giving it a 1 or a 0, but then I was like, all right, I already gave Mortal Kombat a 0. I don't want to be too much of a Grinch. But the only reason why I gave it a 1, because if you make a sequel, I'll watch it just to see if you could redeem yourselves. Because from what I read, this character, John Clark, is really one of the biggest characters in the Tom Clancy universe behind Jack Ryan. And it's weird because the Jack Ryan series on Amazon, I really enjoyed, and I think it was really well made, well acted. So maybe they could do a crossover at some point with that character and that storyline. And then maybe I'll tune in again. But yeah, 1 out of 10 for me. And I was, like I said, I was close to giving it a 0, guys.
Well, so in terms of total score, what'd you end up giving it?
48 out of 100.
I ended up giving it a 60, which is pretty dang low. But honestly, when you look at the scores I'm looking right now on Amazon, we're actually above. Right now it's rating at I think it was 44 out of 100, or at least that's where I saw it scored. So
I thought I was being really harsh, but apparently I'm not alone.
Yeah, exactly. So like I said, we're the people's video podcast here.
People's champ.
People's critics. None of these. We're the voice of the people. So
not of these sellout movie reviewers. All right. I'm calling out names. All right.
You actually haven't said any, but it's okay.
I don't want to go that far. I mean, I want to get canceled.
Yeah, get YouTube beef going. All right.
Next thing you know, I'm YouTube boxing somebody.
Next thing you know, I'm fighting Logan Paul for some reason.
Like in the boxing ring, getting my ass kicked.
With my dad bod, like Ben Askren out there.
The next thing you know, I'm taking a dive for $1 million.
Hey, we can do it. We can work it out. All right. There's gonna be a lot of gift cards, though. That's all I'm saying.
I'll sell out real quick.
All right, man. Well, you know what? Let's shoot it back out to the fans. What did you guys think of this movie? Or being too hard on it? Did you guys like it? Did you guys hate it? Did you guys dislike it more than us? Let us know what you guys think in the comments.
Yeah, I would love to know if anyone hated it more than I did, because I hated this movie. I would not recommend it.
Yeah, totally. So I'm looking forward to see what people say, the feedback we get, and also send any suggestions, any movies you guys want us to review, anything you want us to revisit. You know, there's always have to be something new. We're open to suggestions, and we like hearing you guys' feedback. But yeah, Al, that's all I got for tonight, man. You got any closing comments for maybe Michael B. Jordan if he's watching?
Michael B. Jordan, just focus on the next Creed, all right? Maybe Fight Club or Lang's Son.
You know what? I'd be in for that.
I definitely would be in for that. I'll be first in line.
Yep, there we go. All right. Well, until the next time, guys. Cheers, everybody. Have a nice evening and stay safe out there.
See you next time.